I'm attempting to complete every single GameCube game, and I'm using a random number generator to pick the next game. Last episode, we were everyone's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the Ultimate Spider-Man, and in this episode, we're aiming to join the greats in the Football Hall of Fame in Madden NFL 07. Madden NFL 07 was released on August 22nd, 2006, and was developed and published by EA Sports. This was a fun experience, but it's going to be rough doing the different years throughout this challenge. So I'll have to figure out something new for the next episode. Before we get started, make sure to like this video because it helps out the channel, and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any of the future games. Without further ado, this is my experience with Madden NFL 07. In Madden NFL 07, we're going to go through the NFL Superstar Hall of Fame mode to consider this one complete. We're also going to win the Super Bowl with whatever team we're drafted to because it forces you to play both sides of the ball. This will be the most in-depth Madden we do, and in the future I'll figure out other ways to complete these games, since doing the same thing over and over again could get pretty boring. When creating your superstar in this mode, you can pick your superstar's parents, and this will affect your overall rating and how good of a player you are when you start out. This took me a while to decide on, but I eventually landed on playing linebacker. So I tried getting parents that would allow for my character to be good and start as a rookie. This took a bit of time, but I was finally able to find parents that worked for that goal. The parents ended up being this set of parents. Our father was a former starting NFL left outside linebacker and had a pretty high IQ, and our mother was a USA softball player and also had a higher IQ. So at the very least, our parents were smart and athletic. This was a good decision for me. NFL Superstar mode starts with this really odd cutscene explaining the NFL Hall of Fame and then showing a default player walking up to the entrance. This looks bad. I'm not gonna lie about this. This is really bad. Anyways, when we get into the actual mode, it shows us in a small apartment building, and this will be the hub when going through this mode. We can check our email, our schedule, change our appearance, and check what's going on around the league, including our stats and goals to achieve making it into the Hall of Fame. Leading up to the draft, we can go to interviews and answer questions. This is a nice feature, and I think the only thing this affects is the ego of your player. I was trying to keep my player extremely humble throughout the season. We're a rookie and we need to establish before we start talking smack. Once we're done interviewing, we have to sign an agent. Since we don't have anything going on for us, we have to one option, Jimmy Powers, a man that will sign any player. It does not matter. Makes me feel like we're worthless though, jeez. Waiting to get drafted, we can do these mini games that we can get trophies with. I think this affects your overall rating, so it might be a good idea to do. This one just had us stopping the run. We did really good at this one, got a gold trophy. Then we took an IQ test. I'm not sure how I actually did in this, but I enjoyed that this was included in the mode because it made it seem like we were actually trying to do the right things to get drafted higher. The day was finally here. Draft day! I entered the draft and was hoping we could get drafted in the first round. This didn't happen. We actually didn't get drafted until the third round by the Chicago Bears. Sad that I fell that far in the draft, but ended up being a good situation because we were good enough to become the starting left outside linebacker for the team as a rookie. This means I was going to play a bunch, which was always nice with streaming. Once we're drafted, we can change the way we look in the new uniform, so I decided to add a bunch of stuff to increase our appearance bar. I don't know if this helps at all, but I wanted to at least get this portion up to green. It's time to get to work and go to team practices, which just lets you play against the offense and receive points. Based on your practice performance, it will give you extra stats heading into that week's game. I didn't end up doing this much because I felt like it took too long for minimal growth. We're finally ready to start the season after all that other stuff. Since these games are pretty long and I don't really want to go over every single scoring play or anything, I'm going to break these down by showing who we're playing, any plays that we get some sort of stat or impact on the game, and then what the final score ends up being. I think this will allow for us to get through this the quickest. So, week 1, we're going against divisional rivals, the Green Bay Packers. Let's explain how the game works for anyone that doesn't know. First, we can't pick the play. That's on the coach, so we just go based off of what he calls. This is annoying because some plays my character won't be on the field, and I can't get stats that way. As you develop your character, you'll get like characteristics that will allow for your character to get boosts in their stats during the game when they're making an impact. We only start with the rookie characteristic, which only helps us with stamina and toughness. In Madden, when controlling your player, you can sprint, tackle, jump, and even decide to go in a more like ready to pounce stance. This is pretty much the basics of playing the game. We'll go over anything that I think of as we go on. At the end of each play, you either lose or gain points for how the play goes. The thing I hated was that even if you weren't part of the play, it would still lower your points. Kinda not fair. We didn't do anything in this game, but we were able to finish the game with a big win over Green Bay, 33-7. Next up was another divisional rival in the Detroit Lions. We earned our first tackle of the season on this play. While we were rushing the quarterback, we had to tackle the receiver who caught the pass. That was it for the game, and we won 17-0. Week 3 was against the Minnesota Vikings, and we were able to get another tackle in this game. Not amazing stats through 3 weeks, but slowly getting better. We won the game against the Vikings 20-14. Week 4 brought the Seattle Seahawks into town, and we won 21-13. I wasn't able to do anything in this game. Week 5, we played the Buffalo Bills, and on this play, we got our first sack of the season by not following the play and rushing when we were supposed to be guarding the running back out of the backfield. Later on in the game, we were able to get another sack by breaking free of 2 blocks. Then, on a 4th down late in the game, we were able to get our 3rd sack of the game. We ended up putting a smackdown on the Bills and winning 35-14. Week 6 was against the Arizona Cardinals. We were able to get 1 sack during the game, but nothing else, but the Bears came out on top 24-3. Next up was the San Francisco 49ers, and late in the game we were able to pick up our 5th sack of the season, and the Bears won easily 35-7. The next opponent was the Miami Dolphins, where we would have one of our best games of the season. We started out by getting a sack on Dante Culpepper. Then before halftime we were able to get another sack, followed by our 3rd sack of the game. We were a nightmare for the Dolphins in this game, and towards the end of the game we got our 4th sack of the game for good measure and beat the Dolphins 28-7. We made a trip to New York for the next game and faced the Giants. Early on we got a tackle, but nothing really happened after that. We ended up shutting them out and winning 31-0. We were back in New York the following week facing the Jets though, and I was ready to redeem myself. I didn't. I only got another tackle in this game, but the Bears won 20-6. Then we played the New England Patriots, but we weren't able to do anything on defense. But we still won a close game 35-23. It was time to play Minnesota again, and was able to get another sack in this game, and we came out on top 14-6. We went to St. Louis to face the Rams because I forgot that they used to play there. And we did nothing with our superstar, but were able to win the game 28-0. The next week, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at home. Early in the game, we got another tackle for the season, and then later in the game, we got our very first interception of our career. This was the closest game of the season, and we only won this game 10-7. Another divisional rival is up next as we head to Detroit to face the Lions. We got a sack early in the game that caused a fumble that our team recovered. Then on the next drive, we were able to get another sack. Later, we were able to get another sack for our 3rd of the season. We dominated this game and won 35-3. Next up is our second matchup with the Green Bay Packers. We start this game with a tackle on the running back and follow it up with a sack and a forced fumble. Then on the next drive, we tackle the running back and force our second fumble of the game that the defense recovers yet again. Then we get another sack with a straight shot to the quarterback. They changed quarterbacks and we got another sack on young Aaron Rodgers. And we ended up destroying the Packers 59-14, and we had an amazing game for our player. After this game, the season was over, and this was our stats for the season. 24 tackles, 16 sacks, 1 interception, and 3 forced fumbles. These were actually pretty good stats for our rookie season. We also won Defensive Rookie of the Year. In the first game of the playoffs, we faced the St. Louis Rams again. We didn't do anything on defense, but we won 38-3. Next, we got to face the Washington football team, which had the second best record in the NFC behind us. We were able to get a sack in the game and won 35-10. We ended up getting to the Super Bowl and facing the Baltimore Ravens. When going into this game, it shows each team coming out of the tunnels and celebrating being there. I think it does this every game, but this one felt a little bit longer. We win the game 24-0 and won the Super Bowl, with the Bears meaning we completed this game. But then we get another cutscene showing our team celebrating by jumping around and pouring Gatorade, or I think it's Gatorade, on our coach, you know, the whole 9 yards. Then we get a plaque that says, "Congratulations, you won the Super Bowl." Our NFL superstar ended up going to the Pro Bowl, and he got 4 tackles in the game. Nothing special, but it was kind of cool that we made it there. After that, it shows that we moved into a larger place to live because we had a good season, and now we can get endorsements from different companies as well. But that's it for Madden NFL 07. It's always hard to recommend a sports game because they usually get better as time goes on, but this game wasn't bad overall, just a bit dated. If you want to know what's next, stick around, but if not, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, like, and share this video, and we'll see you in the next one. We have 546 left on our list, and on the count of 3, we are going to figure out what we're playing next. In 3, 2, 1. 28. One at the top of the list. Bad Boys Miami Takedown. Which is... Was it released in the U.S.? Yeah, it was released in the U.S. It is a... Oh, okay. It's an action comedy fit, like... It's an action game, apparently. But that's what we're getting next, is Bad Boys Miami Takedown.